Here we are at the beginning of the Skoki Loop. Man, it's like 2:15 on a Monday. We'll see how this goes. I have a long run. This will be more challenging than the last one. About 7 more kilometers, and I'm starting about an hour later. So I do have my headlamp this time. Going through all the gear. What do you need? You know what? I said it has to fit in the back. Well, I'm bringing an extra sweater. I'm just worried for the cold. I can't bring too much. You don't want to slow down, but this one might be more scary. We'll see. I think it'll be fine. I'm gonna be running in the dark a bit on the last little bit on the way down with my headlamp, and I gotta move fast. Like I can't dawdle. My predicted time, I'll probably be back between 12 a.m. and 1 a.m. The last couple hours down this little bit of foresty area, that'll probably be in the dark with my headlamp, but it should be safe. We should get going because I have to move fast. Beginning of the run, it's like, do I have everything I could possibly need, possibly want? I sure hope so. Well, the one thing I don't have is my one filter water bottle that'll filter water from a stream. Somehow that came out. I think I got everything else that seems reasonable for this adventure. If I need a stream, I can take a stream. It won't be the end of the world if I have some water, which in most cases it's fine, but if it's not quite filtered ideal, do what you need to do. So, well, for a one-time thing. Might fill it the next day. I'll be fine today if it comes to it, but most streams are fine anyways. Okay, so just starting this trail here. There's a couple gals just booting it down, and they look like they're having a pretty strong final run down the road. And always easier going downhill than uphill. They're smiling, they look happy, but they started at 6 a.m. and it's 2 p.m. They did the loop, it sounded like. So they did it in 8 hours. So 8 hours would be good. 8 hours would make sense. I think theoretically I can do it in 8 hours, but I don't know that I'm that level of fitness right now. 11 might be more realistic for my current level of fitness, but let's shoot for 8. Then I'll be back earlier and life will be better. They started at 6 a.m., man. Like, I should have been starting at 6 a.m., but I was in Edmonton, you have to drive. It is a further drive than Nordic, so it is what it is. So, going up this road here, I'm trying this group tracking thing, so my girlfriend's hanging in Banff, and theoretically at times, she might be able to track this run through the Coros app, which seems cool. I think, so a kilometer in, my watch just flashed and said group tracking is on, so that's pretty cool, but I think this is one of the rare areas where we're gonna have cell service. I don't think it's gonna track when we're in the middle of the mountains, because I don't think I have a way where there's going to be GPS and satellite there. I think I'm gonna get my tracking for where I am myself, but I don't think the tech is here, so that's gonna send the updates throughout. It would be cool, it would be great, that would be the best case scenario, but I think when there's no regular cell service, I don't think it's gonna work, but we'll see. Maybe I'll be pleasantly surprised. Still going up the road. One thing I just kinda to reflect on here is some changes in technology. So I might have cell service right now at this moment up this road. I'm sure I'm going to not in a bit. Yeah, and you can pay for a satellite subscription for your emergency SOS, the sort of satellite to text. So right now, probably the most popular device is the Garmin Mini 2 at a quick glance if I wanted to get something new. So when my parents worried about me running in the mountains before, we did get a little satellite device, and I lent it to my sister, and maybe she got a better one. Sort of forgot what our arrangement was, but apparently she sold this one, which my parents are gonna worry. Bothers me slightly, but Like, I'm not worried, but it's for them, so I guiltily did not tell my family, except for my girlfriend, that I'm doing this right now. And her instructions are to only tell people at a prearranged time if we really think I could be in trouble. But the odds of that seem unlikely. This is well within my tested capacity, so a little more than I did last time. Oh yeah, back to the cell phone text stuff. Like, well yeah, cell phones now, new innovation 2025. Some are starting to have satellite access. Oh hey, there's a little bus going up. Probably to the Skoki Lodge. That's interesting. So, in 2025, I guess iPhones can do the satellite texting in an emergency. I didn't know this, so, and they've been doing it the longest, so the iPhone 17 currently out can do it, but so can the 14, 15, and 16, so that's cool. Apparently the Google Pixel 9 has this, so maybe it'll be a more common feature. Right now they say it's free for 2 years if you do it. Maybe something to look into when I get a new phone plan. I can add a new phone on a tab or something. Interesting consideration. Rogers is now the first in Canada to experiment with doing something with Starlink, so they're in beta mode right now. I actually tried signing up for this last night. It didn't work. Some billing issue or I don't know. But you can get an eSIM, a virtual connection, even if you're not a Rogers customer, by paying 15 bucks a month, well, 10 for the first year, 0 for this month as they're in testing beta. You can connect by satellite with Starlink. So any phone can be a satellite phone with the eSIM apparently. One of these Musk companies phone I've seen advertised on YouTube. Elon Musk. Do we call it Tesla? Do we call it Starlink? I don't know. One of these Musk companies, the Pi phone there is going to be a satellite phone I've seen advertised on YouTube. So that's interesting. So anyways, in various capacities, cell phones being able to use satellite in emergency are becoming a newer thing. Hasn't been as much a thing in the past, and people hiking or running in the mountains, sometimes for whatever safety concern, like should you have that? It might be becoming more accessible with more devices and cheaper, and maybe you don't need to buy the $450 Garmin Mini 2 and then pay $25 a month for your satellite subscription on the chance you need to send an emergency message. It's only 2.8k in, and I have seen a lot of people coming down this road, so much more than me being a Nordic. I assume I'll see a bunch more. I guess, if there's any issue, I'll probably feel pretty safe. It seems like there's a few campsites around and people around, so more trafficked than Nordic for sure. A Nordic I saw like between 2 and 4 people the entire 33k on Landslide Lake. I guess I've seen, 8 or 10 so far in the first 2.5k of this, so. One quick critique of my watch. The little button they had there, that was not great. It just popped off while I was moving my marimba, my instrument here, for a gig. That could be a better design. So I actually ordered some straps, which should be a better design. But for now, a couple weeks for them to come. I just got a little elastic on that, so that could be improved in design for sure. Cool. Well, I'm guessing that the bus goes up the big road, but we're going this way. Now, the one other thing looks like I did get turned on, left on the whole time so far. My camera has this thing called Super Steady, so it is doing some stabilization. Sometimes I think that means a camera might crop out some stuff to a smaller screen, so maybe I lose the widescreen when I do it. I don't know, I'll have to look into that. I haven't looked at the details, but theoretically I should be watching some steadier videos now using the Samsung Super Steady on the S23 FE, so we'll see after. Remembering to do the pin drop on my phone before starting the video, since I am not doing it in the app, so I'm gonna have less pins this way, doing it straight on my phone than in the app, but I found it was so much effort to zoom in anyways. But yeah, If they're far enough apart though, I just gotta remember to put them in if I want to sort of line up in my map, and I can sort of put them in place. Although, will I remember exactly which videos go with which pin? So I guess that would be the in-app advantage, knowing which videos go with which pin. Here I'm gonna have to sort out after, so maybe I take less videos. I guess there isn't the limitation, the videos are longer, so yeah. Doing it in-app, I guess advantage, videos work with pin. Doing it outside of the app, then longer videos. Use my camera stabilization feature. Well, does that make it better? We'll see. It might not. But I can't do it in the Coros app. Use the Samsung S23 stabilization. So that's sort of an interesting test between last week's video and this week's video. Also, this path so far is quite a bit easier than the path I did last week. So we'll see. Might not be this way the entire time, but so far I am going quite a bit faster. We'll see how the time compares in the end. It'll be interesting. The ultra runner's secret, unless you're elite, walk all the hills, all the uphill. Yeah, the amount of damage you do to your legs going up the hill versus just walking it, like, not worth it. So once upon a time, my sister and I did the Grizzly Ultra in Canmore. We were kind of racing against each other, and she was super fit then. Like, honestly, she was probably more fit than me, but I was pretty fit too, and she was probably a little more experienced with trail running than me. But at the time, I ran all the hills, and she walked all the hills, and I was ahead of her. But there's two things. I might have taken one small bit of a wrong turn, but I did correct. But really, near the end of this 50K race in the trails, I burnt out a bit, and then she passed me, and she beat me. So, sister won, sibling rivalry that time. So, most of the time in a serious trail thing is, you know, speed walk the hills. Don't need to like go slow, but you're not gaining much by running them, and what you gain, the little bit, you'll lose it in the lack of energy later on, unless you're like really elite. So here I go, speed walking up the hills through the forest. One more thing I thought might be fun for, you know, people who do less trail running or hiking or whatever. Poles. Okay. Less trail running, less hiking. That's also my girlfriend. So it's kind of been a thing to explain some of these things. I think on the serious runs, if you're elite, maybe you're okay without poles. I remember the very first time I'd used poles was on the death race. So 125 kilometers in Grand Cache. I had not practiced with them even before that race, and I think my parents gifted some poles to me, which have since been broken or whatever. These are my own, I bought. I didn't really feel like I needed to practice with poles. Some people do. I grew up cross-country skiing, so it just came very intuitively. I also found, you know, I had some debate. Where do you use poles? When do you use poles? Oh, hey, some more hikers. I'm going to shut up while they pass by. Talk to myself when I'm alone. So, on the death race, I originally thought I might use poles, some legs, not others. I think, you know, 1 and 2 were pretty hilly. I think I tried not using them on leg 3, which is pretty flat, or was. They may have modified it a bit now. Yeah, some people think you use them sometimes, not other times. I think in a serious mountain thing, like lightweight carbon fiber poles, I just find that they are so light that, you know, the weight doesn't really bother me. I don't running to the side like that and just carrying them in my hands. I kind of do this sort of thing when I'm running. I think I could just carry the poles all the time. I was trying in death race, I think, to stick them in the backpack, take them out the hydro pack, off and on. Hey, you can just carry them the whole time. Okay, so one thing I messed up here is I didn't have the strap of my water pouch out this time, so I'll have to feed that through and adjust it as I put it back in. So a little hole in the pack. Share a few things for the people who maybe do these kinds of runs and hikes less. Okay, we are starting to see some mountains now, but we will definitely be running between these for a while. From what I remember, there's a lake somewhere along the way. Let's put a pin down there. So hard to hold with a hand, but I'll press that rotating button. Need to drop a hand to do this, and we'll take the video to the beginning of these mountains later. Definitely time to start running. Did little bits of running before, but if it's flat or if it's down, run. If it's uphill, more than the most modest climb, then we hike. Here we go. Hey. Yeah, I just don't really notice the weight of the poles when I'm running if I'm carrying them, so I would just carry the poles all the time. They end up preventing a lot of damage on the arms when you're going uphill. Even the last hike, like sometimes when you're tired you can use them to protect your legs going down, make sure you don't misstep or trip or something. When I did not bring a headlamp last time, dumb, I got one this time. Well, I should have two. I have one this time. Gotta find the other one, but one will be fine. I should only be running in the dark for 3 or 4 hours. Yeah, so when I was running in the dark too, I had this sort of modified technique where for each, I would say one pole stride, I do 3 steps and the poles are going forward. So when you see less well in the dark, it's running less fast without the headlamp because you don't want to trip or hurt yourself or something. But yeah, the poles can catch you so you don't make a mistake, hurt yourself. I find it good for just being careful. So remember the poles to be careful. Did not remember headlamp last time. Have it this time. Okay. Also, good streams to fill up water with if I need. There might be a few options of things you can see and do here, which is interesting. Let's take a look at this sign. So just had a couple little forks in the road. It's nice looking at the GPX to kind of tell you, but we could go to a hidden lake, a Baker Lake, Fish Creek, Lake Louise. Okay, I did like that looking down at my phone and actually scrolling in there, it does look like the GPX file, which I took from All Trails, is suggesting counterclockwise around this loop, which to me just makes sense, mostly because you got Skoki Lodge later in the loop as opposed to earlier in the loop, so if you're feeling rough, it seems like then there's a safety place you can bail or rest or whatever you need. Should turn off, get back to running, and look at my double check with the map. I didn't take a wrong turn. I don't think I did, but just keep checking with the multiple turn points. This looks like it should be a part of the loop. This is a pretty cool trail. We are 7.5, 8 kilometers in and going, and my watch just beeped. It said group tracking on, so I'm surprised by that. So maybe there's brief intermittent bits of cell signal here. Like, I'm surrounded by mountains, so I'm sure I couldn't call out, but there might be moments that it just pops in. So that's cool, putting on that group tracking feature. I'll be checking in on the way out, see if that worked. But I'm surprised at this point that there might be a location update. So maybe it's not working all the time, but hey, if it works now and then, it gives some information to someone on the other side. So I'm sure as people figure out things they can do with this GPS satellite phones there, that can probably be done more reliably. Like I'm surprised it's working now. If it is, we'll see on the other side. It kind of looks like it is, or the watch says it is. I know if I were doing Sin 7, because I've tested the course before the actual race, like in a place like that, there are more moments of cell service, and particularly when you're like on top of a mountain, you know? So I would expect more cell service and something like that, more tracking points without having the satellite. But if it works here that there are some satellite points, you know, my first time trying it, that would be pretty cool. It would be surprising without having a satellite phone. Okay, a little bit of climbing. As people have pointed out, and I knew, this is a touch late to be starting a hike, so we'll see how it goes. Yeah, there will be 3 or 4 hours of running in the dark with my headlamp anyways, but I have ran through the night with my headlamp. I have run from midnight to 8 a.m. multiple times and seen the sunrise, so I'm gonna be fine no matter what. Things go really well, I'm probably back at 10. If things are a little more rough, wow, looking back. I mean, very likely I could be back at 12 or 1, so we'll see what happens, but I'm ready for this. I know what I'm getting into. Oh yeah, the weather report on my watch is fun. I've got it set to Jasper. I really need to add the location point for Lake Louise, but I don't know, maybe it auto detects based on your location. That would be ideal. So the information I got was that it's not gonna rain, but the clouds look like it could. And even if that was the prediction, things can change in the mountains. But oh my goodness, this is beautiful and this is different. Some good climbing here. My pace slows down from a fast, I don't know, 7 kilometers an hour to 17 kilometers an hour going up some of these hills. Well, here we're going. Maybe I could just keep this on until we peek over the side there. Whoa, I see a mountain peeking over there. Looks like a pretty mountain. I wonder if that's Fossil Mountain. I think it might be. I don't know, we'll see. So, my sister and I, when we did this a long time ago, we meant to do the loop, and then climbing up Fossil Mountain just seemed like fun. And once we got to the top of the Fossil Mountain, which was quite a ways, we rested. It was a warm, sunny day. Today's cooler, which is probably better for running. We did not do the loop after climbing the mountain, so today I'm doing the loop, I'm not climbing the mountain. We are approaching a lake. I'll have to double check what lake that is. So maybe my watch is telling me. Oh, no, it just says 53 meters till the next turn. Okay, well, I'll have to double check the name of the lake. I should probably keep running. Too much walking. Okay. Wow. And we're going on the left side of the lake. Here we go. Oh my goodness. This is so beautiful. These are like, I mean, I tell people, trail running in the mountains, like, you get to see the most beautiful parts of the world. Like, we are so spoiled living in the Rocky Mountains. Like, some of the most beautiful parts of the world are in a backyard, and it's like 1% of people go hiking in the mountains who ever go to like Banff or Jasper, Canmore, I've heard. And then of those 1%, it's like 1% of the 1% that come back to places like this, like the most beautiful things in the world. So, you know, I could run the phone longer, forever. I should just put this away and enjoy the moment. Man, I know it's only just a little bit further, but this is so stunning, so ridiculously beautiful. Like, oh my God. This is real? This is the real world? Like, turn off your video games, get off your computers, go live, go breathe the air, go feel the nature. This is what being alive is. Oh man, one other reflection. Okay, my phone is recording. Oh yeah, could have changed that. 30 frames per second. Could have done 60. 60 frames per second might have been slightly better. Whatever. It's like this trade-off of memory versus capture. But yeah, I guess it's doing like an SD capture. The last video I processed in the end after some experiment in 4K. It only does up to HD capture. Sorry, HD, not SD. So HD is the higher definition, SD standard definition. But I had processed it a couple times. Man, that 4K is just like such a big file, like 10 gigabytes. Like, I don't know, because the camera, the cell phone doesn't really, I don't think it's really capturing 4K, so it might make a difference to YouTube processing somehow and its algorithm and compression, but I don't know. Probably doesn't really make a huge difference to quality to do beyond HD right now, but seeing my video in SD, and I had processed a lot of videos in only SD, saving memory on my older computer. I got a newer computer in March. Yeah, at least with the cell phone, less obvious with my M50 Canon camera. On the cell phone though, like, it is pretty significant, that difference between SD and HD, like so much more clear. My parents are like, oh, what a clear capture. And yeah, so here's a sign. We've got Skoki one way. Huh. What about the other? Let's look at my watch here, because am I at the circle point yet? Yeah. So the signs say to go that way, sorta. But that must be Skoki Lodge that way. We're gonna go around the other way though, because here's our fork in the road. We want to go counterclockwise, so in case things seem rough when it's dark, there's a resting place at the Skoki Lodge. So here we are, going around this way, which leads me to believe that's probably Fossil Mountain there, I think. I think that's the one my sister and I climbed up. We're like, oh my goodness, that's so beautiful. And yeah, there are fossils in the mountains. That's interesting. Is that a thing? They used to be underwater, and then, you know, eventually as the mountains formed, they're brought above water, so there's fossils. I don't know. Have to go look that up. I'm not sure about that anymore. Someone told me something. I've heard stories. Yeah. Okay. We should keep running. So this is the beginning of the loop. I've done a bit over 10K, I think. So yeah, 10K is 1/4-ish. So 1/4 in. 1/4 probably takes me behind Fossil and Skoki Mountain. 1/4 back to that point, and 1/4 back, I guess. Ish. So we'll see how we're doing. Okay, I'm just taking non-stop videos. Like, this is way, way, way too beautiful. Feels so nice to run. Yeah, run the downhills. I mean, not a huge amount of running uphill. Yeah, speed walk the uphills, but feels great to move. Like, movement is life. Wow. Yeah, longer downhill stretches are just glorious. Yeah, compared to what I did last week. Last week there's all these fallen trees, and that did slow down a lot, so I think I'm moving a lot faster. But wow, this is beautiful. Okay, I had been turning off the camera, but I might have to leave it on. It's so beautiful. Hey, how's it going? What a beautiful day.
I wish it was sunnier.
Sir?
I wish it was sunnier.
You wish, sir?
I wish it was sunnier.
Sunnier. It is a little cloudy, yeah. But at least you're not too hot. Be in the moment, and it's fun to look back at later. So, okay. Well, we're out of line of sight of the lake, so let's go back to being in the moment for a bit. Thinks I've missed a section of the route. No, that's wrong. Okay. The watch is slightly confused. Either the route that was tracked was off, or I don't know, maybe maybe also I'm not using the 2 satellite tracking, whatever it's called, so I could use more accurate tracking, but I don't really care that much. I want an ish map, and you know, if you've got 50 hours without the super tracking, like, I'd rather have greater battery life than the most perfect tracking on my watch, just in case, you know. But wow, I'm leaving this on for an awfully long period of time, but it is beautiful. I mean, I probably can run faster on this particular bit if I use my poles. Maybe I'm good. You know, I'm just being lazy. But wow, that is beautiful. So ridiculously beautiful. Yeah, like, that's funny. I feel like the newer cameras, or the newer cell phones, are probably the way to do this if you're trail running, because like, even my little mirrorless digital camera, which does get kind of better video, like better image, it is sharper, yeah, it's got a better lens, but yeah, I mean, that extra bulk and pulling it in and out if you're running, I think you need the flat cell phone camera for this. So What I've got is as good as it gets. Okay. I've been holding on my phone for a while. We're behind the trees. I should put it away. Like, actually get to running. It's just like, so beautiful. Want to capture the beautiful. Like, you know, are you capturing the beautiful or are you letting yourself be in the moment? And it's fun to look back at later. So, okay. Well, we're out of line of sight of the lake, so let's go back to being in the moment for a bit. Brief little water bit. My loop was there for the water, just kind of in a weird spot. And yeah, baby food. Baby food is great. Different trawl runner tricks. I used to do gels all the time when I did like the marathon thing, and I don't know, those are really marketed. And you know, maybe gels for the quick energy when you need the speed, but baby food is awesome. It's like a smoothie, and you don't get that, I don't know, sugar rush. And yeah, it just feels better to have natural food, I think. So just eat that smoothie. And it's like a gel, a little bulkier, but that's one of my favorites. You know, different runners do different things, all sorts of different tricks. But, you know, I also really like the baby food. It's a lot cheaper. Like, I'm getting these for $1 a pack at Superstore right now. Like, I don't know, years ago when I bought the gels, they're going like $3.50 a pack, and they're smaller, and I don't know, they've got to be $4 or $5 now at least, and probably more. It's dumb how expensive they are for, you know, fancy sugar. So when I did the death race and I just loaded up on buying gels because I was worried, like I had this buyer's remorse of like, oh my goodness, like I spent so much money on gels for what I imagined I could possibly need for 125K. So at least on these kinds of days, like I prefer going a little more natural. And the baby food being one of the tricks. I also got these wraps in here, which hopefully aren't too soggy from the tomato I put in. I remember seeing someone had tomato, and it's like, yeah, it's great. I think I've had tomato in my wraps a few times, and it might make the wraps soggy. So I don't know. Got to rethink. Is tomato a good plan in a wrap? I don't know. But I should probably down this baby food and go. So I had a couple days of substitute teaching last week with some very young kids, and you know, some of these kids, I hadn't seen this before. Somehow they had broken some markers and some pens and drawn on their faces with markers and pens. Like, it's my job to be upset about this, and yeah, you know, when I'm doing some gigs on Saturdays as a musician, it's like, do I need to work every day as a teacher? And right now I don't think I do. Well, I guess there's a possible upcoming strike, so maybe there won't be so many choices there, but you know, when I have days where there's an aspect of babysitting kids, you know, there's marker and pen on their faces, and my job is to deal with these behaviors. And I look at a day like this, where I can be running in the mountains, and you know, when I'm not on a contract, I'll take these contracts, and good reasons to take teaching contracts, and it's very meaningful being a teacher. But you know, today's a Monday, and on this Monday, when I've had some weekend work, do I want to go do another day of teaching? Well, you know, when I've done high school band, it's very meaningful, but even then, you know, do I want to go do one more day of teaching? There's always another day of teaching. Do I want to go for a walk and a run and see some of the most beautiful sights in the world? And if I'm substitute teaching, not on the full-time contract, and I can do this, and it fits my fitness, like, I think I should choose to take some days to go experience some of the most beautiful parts of the world. And there'll be another day for me to teach and make a difference in kids' lives doing that. But yeah, good to have some days for yourself too. I don't know. My girlfriend right now is also a musician, plays piano, accompanies like 6 different choirs, and takes these pickup gigs. And you know, you can get in the situation where you could work every day of the week and every hour. And I don't know, I was kind of calculating that as I quit being a part-time military musician there. Once I got my ed degree, it's like, well, I'm getting freelance gigs, and like I could teach all the normal teaching days and normal work hours, and you know, often being a teacher is more than just the work hours, all the prep beyond. Work before work, so there's work when you get to work, and then deal with the work you made while you're working, at least while you're on a contract. And very meaningful though. I've loved the impact from every single day of teaching. Like, it's really nice, the relations and the impact. But I could work all the teaching hours and go to military music stuff and all the hours outside and then do my freelance gigs. And I was getting to a point where I realized, like, you know, I could work every hour of every day. Do I want to work every hour of every day? I don't know. And even if that's not the exact situation, yeah, once you start doing gigs at all times for all places with music stuff, it's like you could do that just doing gigs. I guess my girlfriend sometimes is there too, or like our Sundays are quite busy, you know. Go do some music at a church in the morning and possibly have a concert or two in the afternoon, maybe, and then go accompany another choir in the evening. Like, yeah, it's a pretty full Sunday. But, you know, today is Monday and we drove down together. Good to talk, good to some relation things here too. We're gonna do a smaller hike tomorrow. She's not the crazy trail runner who's gonna do this with me, but we enjoy the trip. And yeah, actually our first time doing this, where she kind of comes out while I do a bigger run. And I hadn't been this crazy level of fitness while we've been dating. I was before, and it's kind of nice to get back to it. Yeah, but she just has been trying to put her foot down now and say, like, Monday is a day of rest. So yeah, depending on gigs and teaching and stuff, and you know, at least when I'm sub-teaching and not on a contract, I might try to generally make Monday a day of rest too. So beautiful to run in the mountains this Monday here after doing some Saturday gigs and back to some other weekday teaching too. So life balance. I think when you live near some of the most beautiful parts of the world, part of your life balance has to be getting out into it sometimes. I mean, maybe you can't all the time, but sometimes. This is being Canadian to me. Like, I know it's only 1% of the 1% of Canadians who get out to this, but this is what being Canadian is to me. Oh, okay, I gotta keep running, so like, I should be able to power through this and get around the mountain before sunset, but I'm probably going down that dirt road in the dark. Okay, let's keep going. There's a campsite there. I could camp at Blair Lake. Okay, I'm like 15 kilometers in, and I'm behind, probably Skoki Mountain here, and my phone flashes and says group tracking is on, and I don't think there's any signal here. Like, I'm way the heck in the mountains. Like, if group tracking is on, I would be really, really, really surprised. Like, is it really giving that? I don't think there's cell signal. I mean, we'll check when I get in, but if somehow that got out there at this point and it's doing this, like, even sporadically while I'm in the middle of, like, giant mountain ranges, like, well, that would be some sort of miracle if group tracking is really on. I don't know that I believe it, but this is the test. We'll see. If it is, that'll be really useful. Like, you know, I know on the course of Sinister 7, there's more on top of mountains. On those points, I'd believe it, but like, between the mountains in a valley, it seems unlikely, unless somehow it's giving me satellite signal, like from the satellites in orbit, you know, not just these towers, even when it says it isn't. So I don't know. I'll have to read the user manual sometime. I actually haven't, but it'd probably be good to read that user manual. So let's see what happens. I think my watch is lying to me. Maybe it's trying to group track from my phone and my watch, but isn't actually getting the signal out. But we'll see when we're back. So, okay, we should get back to running. Wow. That's where we came from. We're going this way. So, got about 15 kilometers in. Guess it depends a little bit on the terrain. Probably been going 3 hours, 15 minutes. Definitely slower going up the road at first. I don't know. I think we might have a bit of a climb out, but I think best case scenario here, likely, whoa, a rock, as I hold the phone in one hand. Anyways, I think we can get around the mountains and be back at the 30K point at about sunset. And I found last time there's a little bit of light after sunset. I mean, what my watch says is sunset, which is about 2 hours from now. So, 2 hours from now, we should be probably back at the start of that loop. And then just the 10K down the hill. Hopefully. Ish. We'll see. Somewhere in that range. But my goodness, this is beautiful. 100% faster going on this trail than last week with the fallen trees. Dodging all the fallen trees, and also the greater amount of rocks on the trail did make the running slower. This is much easier terrain to run on. Well, I'm going to the right, but you know, there's a few bits back here where, you know, there might be some interesting choices. So it looks like you could have some variation. Huh. Well, 1.5 hours to sunset, according to my watch. Approaching 19K. Okay, it's like, find if I lose focus, I'm walking. You know, I'm more focused, even though it's rough terrain. Like, I can still do the little steppy game over the rough terrain, and it's not as rough as last weekend. So, yeah, just focus on the game. So, there's the camping area for the Red Deer Lakes, I guess. Huh. So, it's probably a beautiful place to backcountry camp. Well, let's go there. Let's check our stats one more time. So, we just did 19K. And let's see here. It says 20.69K. Yeah, so it's gonna be like a good 40K here. And we have been running for 3 hours and 44 minutes. I think I paused while I ate for 5 minutes, so I don't know. You can figure it out. Didn't pause before, but did pause the activity. Whatever. Well, I should put this away so I can focus on running, because time will feel more critical when the sun's down. Yeah, there might be a few little options out here, but you know, whoa, little trip. I think, just as a generalization, I'm taking out my phone to take video a lot more when we're not in the trees. So I guess that covered in tree filling is okay too and good to capture, but it feels more epic when you can see everything in the open in the mountains. Well, 20K. This is about our halfway point. I was just thinking about other good food, like nuts and granola bars. I didn't bring those this time. Might have been good. But, I think my watch forecast was right. Like, it's cloudy, but it doesn't seem like it's gonna rain. It looked like it could, but it doesn't seem like it. So, I guess I could have slept more last night. That might have been good. Yeah, and, starting to feel a little tired, but, yeah, I think we can break a little as necessary and just kind of, check in with ourselves. Maybe I need some of those pitas instead of just my yogurt. Or baby food, yeah. Probably had a bunch of baby food. Maybe something more solid. Just hope my pitas aren't soggy because of the tomato. Like, mixed feelings. Like, tomato's great until it makes your pitas soggy. Then it's not great. But yeah, peanut butter. Peanut butter's great. Get some protein. So, yeah. That is the one thing I do have, is got some protein, some peanut butter in my pitas. So, I don't know, even if they're soggy, those pitas, might be good to have the energy to get through, because I'm only halfway. I'm sure the game will change when it gets dark. So hopefully I'm back to that big road as it's getting really dark. Like, yeah, from the other side of the mountain would be more comforting anyways. But, yeah, you kind of come at one with nature. So I remember running a bit of Fat Dog, where, 120 miles in BC there. Didn't finish that race, but, somewhere like 85K in the middle of the mountains. And I had been running with 3 other people, and I couldn't keep up, and I was just kind of running by myself. And there's coyotes howling all around me, and they go, "Howoo!" And I would go, "Howoo!" And we would howl back to each other, and we were kind of singing a song. And yeah, so I think nature is scary when you think about it from an outside perspective, and you're not in it all the time. But most of the time, when you're walking in it, you've done enough in nature, and you've done enough fitness stuff, and you just kind of at some point become comfortable with it and confident that you can solve whatever problem. Although, yeah, I guess if the weather were really bad, that could be scarier. So it's a pretty nice day. Slightly overcast, but beautiful. And probably the mild but slightly cool temperature. Like, it's not hot, so that's probably good for running so you don't overheat. Okay, enough talking. I should focus on the game. Here we have our journey through the enchanted forest. Yeah, so, oh, and now I see my reflection here. I got my mirror, I've got the headlamp on, and sort of badly put through the hat. You know what? Not being fashionable for anyone right now, as I'm in the forest by myself. Yeah, man, I kind of reminded there, maybe something a person might not think. Yeah, poles are great for climbing. A lot of this foresty stuff where it's uneven and rooty, I actually find it really good for the balance of like going through that too. So there's just a section right there. But yeah, we're about 30 minutes from sunset, and I will probably have a little bit of time in the dark in the forest, which I feel like this will remind me of leg 5 of Death Race. Like, yeah, being in the forest at night, using the poles on a path like this. Well, we'll see. I probably won't be in the dark as long as I was in leg 5. But, okay, back to business. Okay, turned off the super steady. Apparently it doesn't like it when it's dark out, but it is. Let's see here, what time is it? 7:25, and in 2 minutes it is officially sunset, apparently, according to my watch. I kind of like the sunset clock there, but we just passed the Merlin Meadows campsite, 24.6K. So yeah, I'd say we've got about 5K through the thick forest before we get back to Fossil Mountain, and then a more open path on the way down. So a little bit of nighttime forest here. Well, 25.5K, and this has got to be the Skoki Lodge. So let's see here. At 7:38. So, I mean, my watch says it's a little past sunset. I really like the sort of pink hue of the sun on everything at this time of day. It's pretty cool. So, yeah, supposedly after sunset, but as you can see, there's still light. So, whatever we call sunset on my watch, I mean, there's still a little bit of light after, which is good because I find you move faster when there's light, and yeah, the forest is less intimidating when there's light too. Yeah, you know, memories of like Death Race, you know. You're running through the night and it's difficult and the night is tough, but it feels great when the sun rises. Okay, that's enough of that. Let's keep going. You know, there is no shortage of places along this route where there's a fork, there's a turn, and like, am I going to Junction Colton Grass Pass, Deception, Red Deer Lake, or Fish Creek? Ooh, I feel like P is parking lot, so you know, I'd probably be able to figure it out, but you know, there's just like no question when your GPS watch tells you where to go. So yeah, a few times on this I might have had to think, but with the watch doing this, you know, definitely beats my you know, $10 to $20 Casio, Walmart, or Amazon. I mean, that one tells time, but it doesn't really navigate. So let's follow our map. 7:52. Time to put on the headlamp. I could probably go longer without it, but oh, that's fun. Angle that a little. There we go. I just didn't bring all the extra batteries and the stuff this time, so like I should be good for the next few hours. And definitely on that kind of path I can make my way in the dark, but it's like, okay, find or buy an extra headlamp, buy the extra batteries, just so you're ready for every situation. And yes, doing these in a rush. But we're good. I'd make it without the headlamp, but it's good to have a headlamp. Better to have two. So, this is what hiking in the night looks like. Yeah. And hey, my phone has 100% battery because my dad gifted me this little very small power station. So I recharged it from 50. I don't know, I might have been out. So he thought that might help with safety, and I'm pretty sure it won't in any way because I'm still not going to have satellite signal. But hey, it means I will be able to take little video snippets all the way to the end of this hike, which is kind of fun. I cut out before it got dark last time, so yeah, right now we're going through the Valley of Despair. Nah, not despair at all. I'm still having a good time. I'm still feeling good. But I think this is the Skoki Valley. We'll look that up later and confirm. And yeah, you know, it's a lot harder going up hills than going down them. And I'm not going fast right now. So we're going to get there eventually. I probably have another 2.5 kilometers of this. And then I think we'll be in front of the mountain. We'll be good. So I mean, I was hoping to be in front of that mountain before the sun went down, but here we are, still feeling cheerful, still having a good time. If you can tell yourself you're having a good time and smiling, it's fun. Yeah, I think in the past, I really did feel like people helped me be cheerful. And yeah, doing these runs with people is more fun. I don't know if I'd do as much video as this if I was running with people, because I'd probably be talking more. They might be pushing me to go faster. I know a lot of fast people, and I'm not as fast as I was, but it'd be great to get back there if it works, so. Yeah, I think, you know, maybe feeling like I'm talking to a friend as I'm journaling here, documenting this adventure. Maybe that's one thing that keeps me in high spirits, I don't know. But, you know, I've always loved nature, and we're getting pretty dark in the mountains here, and I'm sure people who don't do this would be terrified. I've done this a lot. So, you know, as long as I'm not hurt, tired, exhausted, like, night running's kind of exciting. Haven't done it in a while, but it's kind of fun to do again. And, well, right now it's more night crawling out of the valley than running. I'll get back to running in a bit. But, yeah. Slow and steady. Here we go. We're just going slow and steady. Now, you can't see a lot here on the camera. I mean, unless I put the light down, which, yeah, you know, I can see more than the camera can see. The camera's not good at picking up light. So, anyways, we're almost done this loop. I was playing around in the app to see if I could tell. I mean, I think Fossil Mountain's right beside me, but I don't see names on this, so that's a figure it out after. Anyways, I'm pulling myself out of the valley. And I should probably stop playing with my phone and just get out. I mean, yeah, I need to see where I am, but probably don't need to dawdle. Yeah, 1.7K or something until we're back at the end of the loop. And it should be an easier path out from there. Wow, you know, you're like standing on top of a really beautiful, like, this is a mountain pass. I can see the outline of the mountains, and there's a lake down there. This would be absolutely beautiful in the daytime. My phone can see nothing. That's why I can see stuff, my phone can see nothing. I see the outline of the mountain, the phone sees nothing. So I guess my eyes are better than the phone. I can see the lake. That's, oh, this would be so beautiful if I could take a picture. Well, you know, have to come here the night before and start at 6 a.m. But yeah, the other thing I found fun, something that keeps me feeling cheerful when I'm doing these things, you know, aside from eating enough food. I have way more than enough food. I'm not cold, but I got a big sweater and like my raincoat if I needed it. But like, yeah, it's enough calories, enough warmth. I feel safe. So Oh, you're right. I like to make sounds. I go woo and cheer and that, and you make noises, and that helps me feel alive. It also helps me feel safe. I imagine if there might be bears, I'd be like, "What the heck is coming?" So I think a part of it is I tell myself I'm scaring off the bears, but I don't know if there's coyotes. We might be singing to each other. So, anyways, let's keep going. So it is 8:51, and we're back at that fork in the road before the big loop there. Oh, it's probably about 10K out, so we're just backtracking over stuff we've already done. This bit of the path should be easy. So, yeah, let's see. Maybe I can pull up a little bit of a map. There's some stats. Okay, I see some things in the dark. Here we go. That is fun. Okay, we should probably keep going. I thought I might have been here, an hour or two earlier, but this was within a realistic time frame. Yeah, I mean, the optimistic time frame was an hour or two earlier. This was within what I might have thought or discussed with my girlfriend. Well, I know we can't see. Flip around, I can sort of see whatever if I point it down. But, I'm beside this big lake again. It is super calm. I think a lot of the clouds have gone away. There's still some, but you look up and you see beautiful stars in the sky. And yeah, you just turn off the headlamp for a second. It's like, oh, the calm in the dark in the mountains. It's so beautiful. Yeah, I kind of have memories of, I saw a bit of moon behind the cloud here, but being around the Mount Robson area and hiking out that area before becoming a crazy trail runner and camping with a few friends, and then just being beside Berg Lake and just sitting out by myself and seeing the full moon rise over the mountains. And the mountains are so calm and beautiful at night. I can't really show it with the camera here in the current setup. But, I should probably get back to the game. It's kind of neat to just reflect, though. Okay, we can just run, we can just be in a rush, but it's a beautiful world. It's a beautiful world in the daytime. It's a beautiful world in the nighttime. And not scary if you have experience, food, warm things, and actually this watch really makes it a lot less scary. It's like, I know where I'm going. I may have had more navigation challenges without this watch. It would have been probably, in this case, a little bit dumb to start this off without, a watch and headlamp and other things. But I knew as I started, there was a good likelihood I would be coming back in the dark. And I'm very comfortable with that. Okay, let's go. Well, I've got back, which is awesome, except, I have a little problem. My vehicle is on this side of a gate, and they lock this gate at night, so that's problematic. There's other things I could talk about. There's a porcupine running across the road. That's cool. Guess I saw a deer and a rabbit at some point. Okay. Anyways, it's been a great run. A lot easier to run down that road. The last 3 kilometers were quite quick. Before, the last 6 kilometers were better too. The more of a path. The last 3 was just like asphalt road. So smooth. That smoothness makes such a difference. Seeing the watch throughout, it's quite encouraging to see the different, the different kilometer markers, know how far you are. That's really cool. I think when I was just using my Casio on Death Race, it's like, oh man, this goes on forever. So it was always a thing, 2 kilometers to the next bit, 3 kilometers to the next thing. So knowing it's only a little bit makes it a lot easier. You don't have to think about the whole race, only to the next bit. And yeah, having the watch is really helpful with that. So yeah, so many great things with that. Knowing your pace, and think about the asphalt road at the end of Death Race, the Ambler Road, and yeah, that road here kind of felt like that. It was like, oh yeah, you can go probably 2.5 times faster on an asphalt road going down than on a rough rooty single track going up. Anyways, it's been a great run. I could ramble all about it, but I should probably figure out how I'm getting out of here, or maybe I'm camping in my car for the night, even though my girlfriend got a hotel. Oh well. Okay, so it turns out I was confused by the orientation of that gate. Yeah, that was a funny little thing. So I am able to escape tonight. Okay, that gate was blocking the access to the road, I think, or I don't know, or some other road. Not the way out, which is good. Oh, also, yeah, the road that actually goes to the Skoki Loop, like the directions are not quite perfect if you're using Google Maps with all trails. So I don't know. It got to some sort of ski place close by, and someone gave directions to get here. But anyways, we got here. We did the run. I'm feeling great after. I don't know. I might reward myself with a soggy pita later. I had none of these pitas I packed. I only had the baby food and one granola bar that was left over from like a year ago. So, yeah, baby food and one granola bar. I'm feeling surprisingly good. So, it was a good run. Yeah, onwards to other things.